Jomo here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over how to make guaranteed profits with MGM's $1,500 risk-free bet. Now, the profits you can usually expect for most risk-free bet conversions is somewhere between 30 and 50%. 50% is on the high end, but you can usually expect at least 30% for these conversions. And it's usually a two-step process if you lose the risk-free bet. And that process is to do one set of hedges. And then once that bet finishes, if it loses on the risk-free bet side, you'll get a free bet. And then you take that free bet and you convert it using a free bet conversion. And so I'm going to break down in this video the step-by-step process in order to convert this promo, and you'll be able to convert that $1,500 into, like I said, 30 to 50%, which is $500 to $750. I do want to caveat this by saying that this is going to require a pretty big sum up front in order to place the first set of hedges. Obviously, you'll need the $1,500 for the risk-free bet, and then you'll also need, I'd say, somewhere between 2 and 4 grand for the hedge. So you're looking at about 3,500 to 5,500 spread between the two bets. And if you're worried that this is a lot of money, just rest assured that this is not going to put these funds in jeopardy as long as you follow this process step by step. And if you do want help with this process, I do offer a service to help you do this properly, as well as with other sign-up bonuses. And I offer that inside my school group. It's totally free to join that group, and I'll put the link below this video so you can check it out. But basically, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do this yourself. And if you have any questions, you can just ask me inside of the school group, and we'll go from there. So basically, what you want to do is start out by finding an opportunity. And there's a bunch of ARB tools out there. The one that I've been using recently is Smartstake. I've been using OddsJam for years, but right now I think Smartstake is a much better value for a very comparable product. I'm going to jump over to my computer and show you exactly how to do this on Smartstake. So once you've signed up for Smartstake, and by the way, if you use my code JOMO, you'll get a discount, I believe, for your first month, maybe more. So I'll put that link below, but you want to use the promo code JOMO, JOMO, and that should get you a discount. So this is what it looks like on the front page, and you want to go over to this side that says promos. And when you go to this promos page, you want to search for BetMGM. If it's not populating here, all you do is you search BetMGM. And then you go over here to bet type and click no sweat bet. Make sure it's at 1,500 here, and then search. And I will recommend that you guys stay away from any kind of run line, spread, any kind of prop, anything that is a smaller market beyond the 4 main sports. And yeah, you just want to stick to money lines as much as possible here. So basically, I would go into your filters here. First of all, you got to make sure that you have at least one hedge book. I haven't mentioned that yet, but make sure you have at least one hedge book. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. I recommend having at least FanDuel as a hedge book. So if you haven't signed up for FanDuel, you should sign up for that first. And then what you want to do is just simply find that sports book on this list. You can select clear all and then just choose, let's say you have FanDuel. You just click it there. And for the sake of this video, just to keep it simple, I'm just going to select all the books that are available in my state. And then for leagues, you only want to choose baseball, basketball, football, hockey, and I'd say actually probably stay away from most MMA. Maybe the headliners for MMA, but for the most part, um, yeah, you want to stick to like the bigger leagues. And the reason for this, by the way, is I've seen people try to put this first risk-free bet on alternate markets or smaller markets. And what ends up happening a lot of times is BetMGM does not approve the bet for that amount for 1500, and instead it like drops the max amount that you're allowed to bet. So just to avoid that, that's why I'm suggesting that you guys stick to money lines for the main four sports, and you shouldn't have that issue for those sports. Um, and then for markets, you want to type in money line here, and then only actually first, let's see, clear all. You want to do clear all, and then money line, and then choose money line for baseball, basketball, football, hockey. So it should just populate at this point the money lines for those four sports. And then you want to click save. I already have a filter created here. You can create a filter for this and then just save that filter just so it stays in there for you after you've selected your hedge books, your leagues, and your markets. And for date range, you can do 3 days, or I'd say stick to 3 days max, just so that there's a quick turnaround on this process for you. I don't want to have you waiting a week for this bet to settle, especially I know if the amount is something that you want to recover pretty quickly. So, yeah, I'd say leave it at a 3 day max. Hopefully, you can find something within a day or two. Um, so, yeah, that's what I would stick with. And then I would just kind of go down here and find an opportunity that's close to the top of the screen. These are 40%, 39%. This is still pretty good. And as you can see, once you click into it and then you click the calculator right here, you can go over to the math and see how much you'd actually be profiting if you chose this opportunity. So you would profit around $600 if you did this bet right here and the MGM side won. And then if the MGM side loses, you'd have a negative $450 profit, but the MGM would give you a $1,500 bonus bet. And then this is assuming that it converts at a 70%, which is pretty standard. You can usually get it between like 60 and 80% for the free bet conversion, depending on what your hedge book is. And I'm going to go through exactly how to do that in the next step. But basically, it would add $1,000 to your profits. So your total net profits would be $600 if you chose this opportunity and you converted it at 70% if it loses on the MGM side. Now, I forgot to mention this, but you want to make sure that you use the promo code that gets you the $1,500 risk-free bet, as well as confirm that you have the risk-free bet token in your account, and then use the token when you go to place the bet. If you don't have the token in your account, you'll want to reach out to a live chat inside of the MGM app and ask them if you have the $1,500 token in your account, and if you don't, could they please add it for you? Then when you go to place the bet, make sure you select this token before you place the bet. You don't want to place the bet without selecting the token in MGM. And you want to make sure that you place the MGM side first in most scenarios. But you do also want to check the hedge book to make sure that you can get that amount down. Some sports books like FanDuel, which is why I usually actually recommend FanDuel as the hedge book for this. You can actually see what your max bet amount is in FanDuel. before you actually place the bet. So what I'd recommend is just making sure that you can get down this amount. So right here, this amount would be 1649. I would definitely round that to 1650 just to keep even numbers. I always recommend even numbers. Once you've confirmed you can get that amount down on FanDuel, you would go back to MGM and try to place that bet on MGM. And if for whatever reason they restrict it and say, sorry, you can't place the full amount, I would just try a different bet. I would just go down here and find something else. Maybe this game right here. Honestly, I don't think they'll give you issues for a main money line for an MLB game. I think that that's totally reasonable for somebody to come in and use their risk-free bet for something like that. So the only thing they really give people problems with is like crazy alternate markets or smaller markets, like I said. So once you've placed that bet, then all you do is you wait for the bet to settle, and you wait for the game to end. And then once the bet settles, you're either going to have the funds in your MGM account if it wins on the MGM side, or you're going to have $0 in your MGM account, and then they're going to give you free bets. And I believe they break it down into 5 free bets. So if it's the 1,500 that you've wagered, you'll get 5 $300 free bets. And so once you have those 5 $300 free bets in your account, then you can go ahead and do the free bet conversion process. And so I'm going to go through exactly how to do that right here. So instead of no sweat bet right here, you would just simply change it to free bet. And then you would make sure that you have, the same markets. So I would go over here, clear all, search for money line for baseball, basketball, football, hockey. And then you want to go over to leagues, make sure those 4 leagues are selected. Make sure your hedge books are selected here. And then you click save. And then you would simply go down this list and try to find a good opportunity to do a free bet conversion. So let me actually change this. So I'm surprised that the highest free bet conversion here is 57%. Let me see if I change this around, see if that improves. So I am able to find this, but that is preseason football. I wouldn't recommend preseason football. But once football does start, then you'll definitely be able to do money lines for NFL. I mean, you might be able to do it here just because it's a $300 risk-free bet. So, or I'm sorry, free bet. So you would change this to 300, by the way. And then, if you did it like this, you would put 366. I think for a $300 bet, I think that should be okay. But if it was maybe 500 or 1,000, I think it's pushing it for the preseason. But as long as you're sticking to money lines, I think you should be okay here. So let's just say it was a 60% conversion. It's 63% right here. So you can see right here, it'll convert a net profit of 189. So if you did it with that one, and then let's say you did, a few others that are similar on this list. You did the Arizona Diamondbacks, Dodgers. So it would probably be around $200 that you'd get for each of these. So basically $200 times 5, that's 1,000. And so you lost, if we go back to that, was it this one? No, I can't find it. But I think it was around this much. So I remember the math was, yeah, it was about this. So if let's say you convert it for 1,000 or close to 1,000, then your net profits would be around here. So I'd say your profits will probably be around $500 if you do, an opportunity that's around 40%, and then you do a free bet conversion around 60%. I'd say that's about what you can expect as like you know, a $500 profit on this promo. So, um, nothing crazy, but it's still a decent amount that you can just extract from the sports books just from this promotion. So, yeah, like I said, if you have any questions about this process, you can post them below. But you could also message me inside the school group, and I'll see what I can do to help you. And, if you want my help actually placing these bets to make sure that you're not making any mistakes, I also offer that service as well. So, anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope it helps you make guaranteed profits with this promotion, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.